Rishi sir, good morning. We'll wait for another 4 minutes, then we'll start.
Good morning, sir. Yes, we can wait.
Rishi sir, we can start now, I think. So good morning to one and all present here. Now Rishi sir again will take the session today.
Hello.
If you are joining here. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I will share my screen. I think you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, yesterday we covered reconnaissance and also we went through like how we can set up our virtual lab. And today I will cover scanning network and also how we can do vulnerability assessment. So this comes in sequence with the what we went through yesterday. So this is also part of reconnaissance. So initially yesterday we covered that we generally do reconnaissance either actively or just monitoring everything passively and also going through the websites of the target organization and then try to find as much information as we can, like phone numbers, employees details, email addresses, and everything. And in that, we also went through how we can download all the contents from the websites on our local repository for doing reconnaissance, and how we can use Wayback Machine and how we can use Shodan. We saw that in Shodan we can find a lot of information. So in that sequence, today we will cover about how we can do scanning the network. This is also a extended part of doing reconnaissance. And in this case, we generally directly interact with the target network target systems. And then we scan the whole network and then try to find the information like how many hosts are there, how many hosts are alive, and what are the port number, what are the applications running on those ports, and what is the operating system, what is the topology. So all these information we try to find while performing scanning. And that is also like one of the initial stage that attackers generally do. They will try to scan the target infrastructure and try to find the information like the different ports which are open, and what type of applications are running on those ports, what are the operating systems that they have in their host machines, and what is the network architecture or topology. So all these information, and if they target infrastructure has deployed like intrusion detection systems and firewalls, they will try to collect information like if they have the firewalls, whether we can bypass them or not, and whether they have intrusion detection system. So everything they try to monitor while performing a scanning. So they will send some packets, and then once they get the response, they will try to analyze those responses and then figure it out what is the target infrastructure looks like. So
slide presentation, make it bigger.
okay, sorry.
Make it slide presentation. It's
Okay.
full screen.
Yes, now it's
Yeah.
better. Thank you.
Okay. So just let me know when I change the slide whether you can see it, the new slide or not. So this is the overview. As we did in footprinting, the first phase where we just try to monitor the target websites and target infrastructure and try to collect the information from there, and also do the Google search and Google dorking, and also collect the information from social networking platform. So in this case, generally, what we do, this is an extended phase of the previous one, the footprinting, and we directly interact with the target infrastructure by sending some probe packets and then try to analyze all the information that we receive, the number of hosts or the hosts which are alive, what are the port information, what are the services running on those ports, and what is the state of those ports, whether they are opened or connection is established or they are closed. So all those information, and also the operating system which is running on the target system. So every these kind of information we try to extract, and also the other IP address in the infrastructure, the range of the IP address. So we can do a lot of things while performing the network scanning. And many infrastructure, they what they do generally, they will have the firewalls to block these kind of network scanning activities. If they have the intrusion detection system, those intrusion detection system will trigger an alert. So attackers also, they try to see those information while performing the scanning, whether the target systems have the firewall and how those firewalls are configured and intrusion detection systems. So this is a new slide, I think you can see. So here, if you can see the figure, we have one attacker, and then we have the target network. And then what we generally do, we send attacker sends the probe packets, like here in this case TCP/IP packets that they are sending, and then they will wait for the response from the target host. And once the target replies, then attacker will figure it out, what is the response looks like, and through those responses they will figure out what are the entry ports that they have, what are the services running on those ports, and whether those ports are opened or closed. So all these information they will try to find from the network scanning. And if they like the target network, they have configured the firewall, then those things attacker will generally know how those firewalls are configured, whether they have the rules to block those network scanning process or not. So that is also from the security or countermeasure perspective, that we should configure our firewalls properly. And also we need to have intrusion detection systems that can trigger an alert if there is some kind of network scanning is going on.
Yes, as a
So
attacker point of view,
Yeah.
What kind of information attackers should collect so that they can attack easily? Like you told, IP address, port, service, okay, or net
Yeah.
or IDS system configuration. Then
Mm.
is there any minimum kind of subset or so that attacker can work on them and they may be successfully attack on the system? Because as a user, as a new student, may
Mhm.
confuse that what kind of information he or she wants to collect from that activity. Because at the end, we need information, and
Yeah.
information must be sufficient to attack on
Yeah.
other system. Is there any specific information about that?
Yeah, generally through scanning, attackers they try to look into the ports because ports are the entry point in the infrastructure. So they will try to find the ports which are open and what are the services running, because when they will know that what type of services that are running on those ports, they will try to see whether we can exploit those services or not. And after this, they will perform vulnerability scanning and then they will try to see what are the vulnerabilities in there. But the general purpose is to find the number of ports which are there and what are the services running and whether those ports are opened or not, because that will help them to get inside the infrastructure and what kind of services are running and what is the range of internal IP addresses that target network has, and like operating systems, because if they will know that there is a Microsoft Windows operating system, then they will have sufficient information like what kind of payloads that they can work on and develop that they can deploy on those target systems. So these information are like required to get inside the
These
infrastructure. So
information are different from different attacks, or it is a kind of super subset that must be collected
these are
from.
generic information
Okay,
that,
suppose any attacker wants to attack, suppose
yeah,
ransomware. Okay,
yeah.
because most of the students are working on ransomware to find
Mhm.
out some solution using data driven. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, since we are going to solve using data driven, then what kind of data we expect to find the attack, find the ransomware attack specifically? Suppose DOS attack is also there, injection attack is also there, lots of kind of attacks is there, like middle attack. But
Yeah.
if anyone wants to analyze the ransomware kind of attack, then what kind of information he or she try to gather from these kind of tools?
So these tools like network scanning, it helps attackers or pen testers to know like the number of ports and services running and an operating system which are running. So what it will help attackers or pen testers to know how they can get inside the infrastructure. And once they are inside, like they have deployed, let's say, some payload or malware that they have deployed, then from the perspective of countermeasures to detect those kind of activities, we first need to have like an anti-malware protection, or let's say we have intrusion detection systems like Snort or Suricata, which triggers an alert, and we can see the logs of those intrusion detection system and finds that, for example, let's say remote access Trojan is deployed on the target network. Then if we have intrusion detection systems like Snort or Suricata, we can go into their logs and see what kind of communication is happening. For instance, if it is a remote access Trojan, it will communicate back to the target, command and control server of the attacker machine on some specific port like port 8080, port 4444. So these kind of information, and maybe you will also see the protocol like TCP, and you will have the information like in the signature Metasploit, like payload information that you will have. So all those things can help to find what kind of communication is going on, and if it is malware, you will figure it out from the logs of intrusion detection system. And also we can analyze the event logs of Windows and see what kind of communication is going on the target machine. For instance, there is another tool that you can also use like TCP view, and you can run on the Windows system and try to find what kind of communication is happening, what are the applications which are running on my machine and communicating with some remote services. You will see a lot of applications which are communicating with the Microsoft services because they are looking for updates or anything. And if you will find any kind of suspicious applications which you know that it is not installed by you and and it neither comes from Microsoft, then you should take a deep look into that and find what kind of communication it is they're happening with this application. And then we can find that, yeah, maybe it is a malware which is sending some information, or it is trying to get sensitive information from our infrastructure. So those kind of countermeasures that we can have to detect these kind of malwares. And also there is another Windows internal tool, Procmon, which is process monitor, to monitor the processes which are running in our Windows machine. And if we will analyze, run the Procmon or Sysmon, we can find what kind of processes are running in our Windows machine, and then we can find the kind of communication that is established with those processes. And from there also we can find that whether there is a malware or Trojan activity is going on or not. So these are some tools which you can use to detect what kind of traffic that is going out from my machine, and that will help to know whether there is a malware or whether there is a genuine application which is communicating with the remote system. So that is the way to know whether there is because most of the time, for instance, if we are using some Windows Defender or any other antivirus product, maybe it will miss some kind of new ransomware activity or new malware if the signature is not matching. But if we will use these kind of Windows internal tools like Procmon, Sysmon, then we can monitor what kind of application is running and what kind of communication is established with remote systems, and we can figure it out whether these are malwares or legitimate applications. So these kind of monitoring activity can help us to detect these kind of ransomware or malware in our systems. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you for explaining. And others also, since we know the target that we have to analyze the attacks. Okay.
Yeah.
A study like that, if you have any questions, other students, then ask questions so that we can do some relevant work at the end of the summer school. This is not only a training, as I told you, we have to do something from this session. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Rishikesh, continue. Thank you.
So there are different types of scanning, and yeah, as Sumit mentioned about the some work, so you can learn these different types of scanning, and also different types of vulnerability scanning that we will do. And you can use these tools to launch an attack on the machine. Like, let's say you have developed some kind of infrastructure, home infrastructure, where you want to simulate the attacks and then collect the traffic for analysis. And then you can use some machine learning or generative AI tools to further investigate how we can automatically get the insights from these logs or traffic information. Because most of the time what happens when we work in security operation centers, we get a lot of logs, a lot of different traffic information and logs from different applications. In medium size or even small infrastructure, you will have a lot of different applications or systems running, and those systems will generally generate huge logs. And then let's say you have a firewall, you have intrusion detection systems, you have Windows machine, and maybe or let's say also the routers that you have. So all these systems and applications, they generate huge logs. And if you will try to analyze, like by going into these systems, logging into these systems and then analyzing the logs, it takes a lot of time. And there are CM tools like Splunk and Elasticsearch, which we will go through later on. So what they will do, they will pull these logs from different sources at a central platform, and then you can analyze those logs. But that is also very time consuming. So what you can do, pull these logs at a central platform and then see how we can connect with some large language model generative AI applications, and first analyze those logs in an automated way so that you will get an insight, and then use those insights to further investigate using these CM tools for the attack, because we need to have human in the loop also. We cannot just rely on those insights given by large language models or generative AI. But that will at least automate one process or workflow, and you can leverage those insights to further investigate using different CM tools for different kind of intrusions or threats. So yeah, coming back to here. So types of scanning is like port scanning. We have network scanning, vulnerability scanning. So in the port scanning, generally what we do, we try to find the what are the ports open and what kind of services running. So generally attackers or pen testers will send TCP or UDP traffic, and then they will monitor what kind of services are running on those systems and what is the state of those ports. And then the network scanning, the idea is to find the alive hosts in the target infrastructure and what are the IP addresses of those hosts. And then after doing this kind of scanning, network and port scanning, we do vulnerability scanning. So vulnerability scanning is to download the databases of vulnerabilities from like CVSS and other Microsoft vulnerability databases, and then monitor the target infrastructure to find what kind of vulnerabilities they have. And then once you know the vulnerabilities in the target infrastructure, then you can think for exploiting those vulnerabilities and compromising the infrastructure. So I'm not going into details here. So as we already discussed, the objective of network scanning is to find the alive hosts in the target systems. What are the IP addresses? What are the open ports? And what kind of services are running on those ports? And also try to find what kind of operating systems that target infrastructure has. Maybe you will not get exact information whether it is Microsoft Windows 11 or Windows 10, but you will find that if it is Microsoft Windows, then you will find that information in the scanning that, yeah, this is a Microsoft Windows. Maybe it will give that it is Windows 7 or Windows 10, but maybe the target infrastructure is running Windows 11. But at least you will have an idea that it is a Microsoft operating system. And then you will find the different kind of services running and which are listening on the target systems. So then you can think for, like, after getting this information, like what kind of services are running, then you can plan your activity. Like, these are the services running, so how I can use those services to get inside the target systems and do the malicious activities. So that is the main objective of network scanning. So this is one of the tool, network mapper, that we call, in short, we call an Nmap. So this is widely used scanning tool, and it has a lot of features. So you can use this tool to scan the target systems using TCP, UDP protocol, ICMP, and then you will find it will give you all the details, like what are the IP ranges that target systems has, what is the operating systems, how the topology looks like, or like how many hops the target system is away from my machine. Also, the ports which are open, and the kind of services which are running on those ports, and what is the state, whether it is open or closed. So all these information we can find using this Nmap tool. So for instance, let's say you are doing some project, so how it can be helpful, like you can use this tool to simulate the scanning attack, and collect the logs or data from at your target machine. And let's say you have also deployed intrusion detection system, then you can have the logs in your intrusion detection system, and then later on you can use those logs, and maybe you can use those logs to on some generative AI applications or machine learning models, and try to analyze the features which can be relevant, and how you can use those information to make your large language model more efficient. So all those things that generally you can do, but the idea is to use these tools to you can scan the network, get all the information. From security perspective, you can get the logs, and then you can leverage those logs for your further analysis. So this is one of this is a Zenmap, which is you can find in Kali. You need to install it on Kali, but Nmap, which is the command line tool in Kali, that is already installed. But this is a graphical version of Nmap, which we call Zenmap. So that is you have to install. So for instance, you can see that here, this is my target machine IP address 192.168.1.184. And then I ran
And another
intent.
question, Rishikesh, if we
Yeah.
want to collect information from target machine, then we have to type each machine. It means suppose if you see any data set, then they have a multiple target and source IP addresses. Okay. For that, we have to type individually, or some other methods are there.
So you can also just type like here I have typed the specific IP address, but you can also type just a star, one dot star, and then it will scan all the IP range in that range. Yeah, and then you can get the information. So that is also possible, but here I just type the specific IP address because I know the target machine IP. And then I ran the intense TCP scan, and then here you can see that it has found all these ports which are open, like 135, 139, 445, 49668, and the protocol which is running is TCP, and all these ports are open. And then in the services which are running is
all students, please map your data set and the data set Rishikesh is trying to explain. Are you able to gather that data set or not? Or is there any related to that information or not? Okay. Because here port is there, you can also find in data set port information, service information. Okay. Please try to correlate, because at the end we have to do some work. Okay. Thank you, Rishikesh.
yeah. So here you can see these services are running. That is, it has found like MSRPC, Microsoft's remote procedure call. This is also a Microsoft service which is running NetBIOS, SSN, Microsoft DS, MSRPC, again the Microsoft remote procedure call. So all these are running, and then you can see here the version Microsoft RPC which is there. And here then you can see that MAC address it has found. Also, MAC address is also useful. And then you can see here the aggressive OS guesses that it has guessed Microsoft Windows XP. So as I mentioned, it can guess the Windows type, if it is like Microsoft Windows 7 or Windows 10 or Windows 11, or maybe it is not. It cannot guess exactly, but it can give you an idea whether it is a Microsoft Windows or Linux machine. And then here you can see that network distance is 1 hop because I just had my Kali and in my virtual machine, and then I also had my Windows virtual machine in my Kali. So it is just at 1 hop that it has found. So all those information like these are very helpful from pen testers' point of view and also from the attacker's point of view to see how these ports are open and these services are running. So then they can plan how I can use these services to get inside the target infrastructure. So that is an information that is really helpful for performing the scan. And also one more thing, like when you use the graphical version of Nmap, you won't have to type this command, but I will say that the command line version of Nmap that has more functionality actually, and that is definitely more powerful as compared to the graphical version, which is ZenMap. And but the advantage is like if you are a beginner, you don't have to go through these commands because in the command line you will have to type these commands like nmap -p. But when you use ZenMap, you can just provide the target IP address, and you can from here select which type of a scan that you want to perform, and then it will provide the command by itself. You don't have to provide the command. And here you can see that it is scanning all the ports from 1 to 65535. In the range of this, it is scanning all the ports. So similarly, you can perform for the IP also, you can provide the range. And the advantage of having ZenMap is also that you can visualize, you can visualize the topology. So as you can see here, you can, and I will show that later on how you can visualize the topology. So here you can see that this is the IP of my Kali 192.168.56.1, and this is the Microsoft Windows IP address which I scanned, and it has found that yeah, this is at just 1 hop. But let's say you are scanning a complicated infrastructure, you will have a complex topological diagram that you will find here. So how it generally performs, these scan, what it will do, it will send the probe packets, and then it will collect, it will wait for the response. So the host machine, and that is the target machine, it will send the response back to the Kali machine, and then the Nmap, it will scan, I mean, it will analyze those response, and then it will try to find, yeah, these are the ports open, these are the services which are running, and this is the type of operating system which is running on the target infrastructure. And here you can see that there are different buttons like Nmap output, which you can see here, all the information are there. Then if you just want to specifically to get the information about the ports, you can just click here the ports and host. And if you want to see the topology, you can just click here topology, and it will give you the diagram of topology that you can see here. So all those informations you can find on ZenMap. This is another.
Some students are asking about GenMax installation. I hope you will describe after in the
Yes.
hands-on session.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
will,
other students ask about how to change the IP address. You can use a star, okay? As Rishikesh
Yeah.
told, you can use
Yeah.
a star there, and you can get all IP addresses like that.
Yes.
And another command address is always same, or we have to change command address. We have to change.
Command will change.
Okay.
Like if you are performing a comprehensive scan or UDP scan, commands will change accordingly.
Okay. And this thing Rishikesh will explain in hands-on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is another tool, and also HPing 2, HPing 3. HPing 3 now it is widely used. So this is a tool which is used for scanning also, and also it is used to perform denial of service attack. So it can also give you all the information like the OS. It will get the OS fingerprinting and analyze those response from the target infrastructure, and then it will give you a lot of information. But generally, it is used to perform like denial of service attack, and also the main purpose of this tool is to audit your infrastructure. So, for instance, let's say you are working as a security administrator, and your security team or has already deployed firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and everything they have deployed, but they also want to make sure that everything is well configured and it is working fine. So you can use this tool, HPing3, and perform the scan like TCP flood, UDP flood you can launch, and then you can see whether your firewall is working properly or not, or intrusion detection system is working properly or not. So the main purpose of this tool is to audit your security systems, where like the firewalls, intrusion detection system, because many a times attack or cyber breach happen in the infrastructure just because of misconfigurations. Because many organizations, they have firewall, intrusion detection systems, they also have proper network segmentations, but still cyber attack happens, and many a times organizations are compromised. And the main reason behind that is because they have some kind of misconfigurations, or router is misconfigured, firewall is misconfigured. So misconfiguration is one of the main reasons for a security breach. So it is always important to like continuously, like every 3 months, 2 months, uh, to test these kind of infrastructure, whether they are working properly or not. Or maybe let's say you have updated your firewall rules, or you have deployed some updates on your routers, then you should always check whether it is working properly or not, and you should test using different tools like HPing or scan how it is responding. So that you will know that, yeah, your security system is not impacted by any updates. Or maybe let's say attackers have already found some vulnerabilities in the firewall of Palo Alto or any other firewall, FortiGate. Then you should also use these kind of tools to test that once you have deployed the updates, or how it is impacting. Because many a times after updates, system is misconfigured, or it is not working in a stable way, and it can allow attackers to get inside the infrastructure. So it is always important to test those systems continuously. You cannot just rely that, yeah, I have deployed firewall, I have deployed intrusion detection systems, or I have done the network segmentation and other security tools I have. So now I can sit and relax. This is not the way that cybersecurity works. It is a continuous process. It's not like an end product that you have deployed malware, antivirus tools, intrusion detection system, and then you can just relax that, yeah, everything is fine. It is a continuous process, and you have to test your system continuously, because attackers are also investigating and researching different ways to compromise the infrastructure. So you should always be proactive and test your systems for any kind of vulnerabilities and any kind of misconfigurations. So this is also an important tool. And coming back to the idea of how you can use this in your project. So for instance, let's say you want different kind of mix of different traffic or logs. So like scanning attack, DDoS attack. Like in the DDoS also you want UDP, ICMP, TCP flood attack. Then you can use, and also like spoofing attack, you can also use it to spoof the IP address, and also for instance source port manipulation. So all those things you can perform using HPing3. So if you are doing a project on, let's say, where you are closing the gap, like collecting the data and then using some generative AI or large language models to do further investigation, then you can use these kind of tools to perform different kinds of attacks so that your traffic or your logs have a mixed, not just one kind of attack. So you will have a mix of different types of attack, TCP, UDP, ICMP, and also like spoofing. And also you will have scan attack. In the scan also you will have different types of scanning attacks. And then you can collect this data, and in gradually, if you are doing in your lab, you will have a very good data sets that you can use to train your models or your large language models. And then you can see how your large language models can be helpful in detecting cyber attacks automatically, because that is the main purpose of using generative AI or large language models, so that we can close the gap. Because currently in the security operation centers, SOC analysts, they analyze the logs manually, and that is very time consuming. And what happens, many a times they skip or miss a lot of logs. And that is where attack happens, because maybe they are so overwhelmed or so tired with the huge volumes of log that they missed some kind of a breach, or they will skip log analysis, some logs that they are getting, and then attack happens. So that is where these kind of generative AI applications can be really helpful. Once you pull the logs, you can analyze it using generative AI applications, and then see what are the insights that I'm getting. And then you can narrow down your search in the tools like CM tools or any other tools, and then focus just on those parts manually and find the actual attack. So that is where it can be really helpful. So this is another like ICMP scanning, which you can perform using HPing3, and like just give -1, and then this is the IP address of my Windows machine, and then I perform this scan. You can also launch a spoofing attack, and then you can collect all the logs on your intrusion detection systems or on your target machine. You can also use Wireshark and collect all the traffic, and then later on you can convert it into the CSV file or JSON file that you want, and then do further analysis. And let's say you have deployed some kind of tools to security tools that is like mitigating or stopping the attack. So you can see launch these kind of attacks and see whether they are working properly or not. So this is just a ICMP scan. We will go through that later on. And many a times what happens, if you want to probe whether there is a firewall in the target infrastructure or not, because what happens when you will perform the scan on some random port, it will be blocked. So here what you can do, you can provide, like for instance, I have provided this is the IP address of my target machine, and then I'm sending it from a specific port. So all these commands, like if you are overwhelmed with different types of command, what you can do, you just type hping3 and then dash a small h, and it will give you the help and all the information that you can find what kind of different parameters that you can use. So then you can experiment with all the different parameters and find the different types of attack that you can perform. So this is another way. So for instance, here, the idea is to use timestamp when we are sending the traffic to the target machine, because what happens, many times firewalls, they will just block the TCP packets that generally they do if they do not have any TCP timestamp sets. So this is also one option that you can try. So let's say you have deployed Palo Alto firewall in your infrastructure, and that is like dropping all the traffic, which TCP traffic, if it doesn't have any timestamp set. So you can experiment with like this command hping3 and then the -s and your IP address and sending on like through port 139, and then setting the TCP timestamp, and then you can find that sending the traffic to 139 port and also setting the timestamp, and then you can find that whether your Palo Alto firewall is blocking it or not. If it is not blocking, then that means the firewall is working properly. So this is another attack that you can perform using hping3. So this is just a UDP flood attack. So you just type hping3 and then -- flood and then the IP address of the target machine, and then you just send packets randomly. You don't wait for any response. So here you can see that this much of packets have been sent, and 0 packet has been received. All packet were lost. So whilst flooding the target system using UDP flood, my attacker machine or it doesn't wait for any response. It will just send as much traffic as it can. So coming back to the idea of project, also you can use this type of attack to collect the traffic. Like as you can see here, UDP flood you can use by sending TCP packets and setting the timestamps. You can launch this attack and collect the logs, and also on specific ports that you can use. Then you can use ICMP scan, as I have mentioned here. So all these different types of scan. Also there is a way to also spoof your IP address. So right now here I have not shown the spoofing, but also you can spoof your source IP address and then send the traffic, so that you will have a lot of mix, like original IP addresses, spoofed IP addresses in your data set, and that will give you a rich data set which you can use to build your large language models. So these are the different commands that you can explore, like ICMP scan, ping, ACK scan on port 80, how you can perform, UDP scan on port 80, how you can perform. So this is the port of target machines. If you want to set the TCP timestamp, how you can do that. And if you want to scan the entire subnet for the live host, as I mentioned, just type ** or that will work. And you can also specify like random destinations and everything that will work. And then the sync flooding attack, that is also possible. So this is like here you are sending the spoofing, I think, the source IP addresses. So all these things you can do, and you will have a very rich data sets. I will show you how you can do that. So this is another tool that you can use, but I think this is not free. But you can try that. And this is also a NetScan Pro, which you can use to scan the target infrastructure and getting all the information, like different IP addresses, what type of operating systems that they have, what kind of ports they have. But this is not free, I think. But I think it has some free trial that you can use. But Nmap, it is a very powerful tool, and I would suggest to use this in your project, and you can launch different types of attack, and that will also give you like an idea of what kind of threat model that you have set to use in your project, and then like 7 to 8 attacks or 10 attacks that you can launch, including network scanning. So this scanning and attacks, they help us also to discover the host, like whether the hosts are alive or not. And also it will help us to find the range of IP addresses in the target infrastructure. That is really helpful, because then you will know that, yeah, what is the range and which are the hosts which are alive in that IP range. And then you can further like target which particular host that you want to target, and which are the different hosts and which are the different ports running on those hosts and what are the services running. And then you can plan the attack, because pen testing is not only about just learning the tools and using those tools to perform pen testing, but also there are a lot of planning that is involved, because it is time consuming activity. So you will not just randomly do use one tool. You will have to plan everything before going into active pen testing. So there is a lot of planning involved. What you want to achieve, or what is your objective, like whether you want to just perform the scan and see what are the different ports. Maybe let's say you have a system administrator who has mentioned that, I have closed all the unnecessary ports on the servers. And all those ports which are not needed, they are closed. Because if you just keep open all your unnecessary ports which are not getting used, maybe attackers can use those ports to enter in your infrastructure. So uh, your focus will be then just to see on different hosts which are the ports open and what are the services running. Then you can plan your tools. Also, before going into pen testing, you have to plan what kind of tools that you will be using. It cannot be just random tools that you will use. So there is a lot of planning involved, and then you can do these activities, because definitely it is time consuming, and then you have to document all the activities, all the things that you have found. You need to document, and also you need to suggest what are the countermeasures that you can use to mitigate those threats that you have found. So all these different techniques that you can use, to discover the host, ARP ping scan, UDP ping scan, TCP ping scan. So this is a ARP ping scan. You can send the ARP request probe to the target machine, and then once you receive the response, you can know whether the host is active or not. And in ZenMap also, you can do that by having -PR option. So that's why I mentioned that in the Nmap, it is more easy to perform the scan, because in the Nmap you can just type Nmap and -H for help, and you will get all those different parameters. Maybe you will use one parameter, and you will get the information that the command is not valid or it is not working. So you need to experiment, because when you will do the experimentation, then only you will get to know, because all these things requires, like, it is important to get your hands dirty. Then only you will know how this tool actually works. But ZenMap, it is just for the beginner purpose, that yeah, you will have the graphical user interface and you will know how the tool works. But Nmap, the command line tool that is already installed, that is more powerful. So here, as you can see, you can just provide -PR option to perform the ARP address resolution protocol scan on the target machine, and you will find the MAC address and also one IP address that it will show you. So that is the result of performing a ARP scan. So that is also useful to discover the system which are alive and in the target infrastructure. Then the UDP ping scan, I think everybody knows that you can just send UDP ping packets and then you will wait for the UDP response. So that is also possible using Nmap, you can just select UDP scan, and it will send UDP probe packets. And then once the target machine send the UDP response, Nmap will scan that and it will give you the results. So all these different types of scan, sorry, you can perform, and then you can collect your data, the logs. So you can use intrusion detection systems. Sorry. And also you can use Wireshark to collect all the traffics. And in the Wireshark, you have the option to save the file, I think, as CSV or PCAP. So both options are there. And many generative AI applications, it requires the files to be in the CSV. So you can save it as a CSV file, and then you can see how you can use the different features. And there, maybe you need to extract those features and then train your model. So you can do that. So all these different types of scan activity or an attack activity you can perform. So then this is another.
During hands-on, please mention that how we can save in CSV file, because the students are working on CSV file.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, sure. I will mention that. And this is another attack, ICMP Echo Ping Sweep. So here you can see that this is a source which has an IP address of 10.10.10.16. And what it does, it sends ICMP broadcast request to all the different hosts. Like here from 6 to 6, 9, 12, 10, it sends the ICMP echo request to all the different hosts. And those who respond back, it will know that, yeah, these hosts have responded, so they are alive. And those who have not responded, they are down. Many a times what happens, attackers also use this scan from their perspective to like overwhelm the source. So they will spoof the IP address of the source, and then they will send the ICMP echo request to and broadcast it to the entire host in the infrastructure. And then all the hosts will respond back to the source. And then the source will be overwhelmed, and the source machine won't be available. So attackers also use this ICMP echo ping sweep from their purpose to launch ICMP ping sweep attack. So that is the way it works. It will just send the echo request and then wait for the echo reply, ICMP echo reply. And the machine which will respond back, it will know that, yeah, these are the hosts which are active, and those who are down, they won't reply back. So here, as you can see, you can perform this scan also. As you can see that I have just typed 192.168.1. And then this is the command option -SN and then -P for performing Nmap, ICMP echo ping sweep attack scan. And then it will wait for the response whether the host is up. So here you can see that all these hosts, different hosts, are up. Like this host is up, this host is up. So you can do that. But if you are scanning your infrastructure, then only perform in your lab. Don't do in your Wi-Fi campus and scan the whole infrastructure, because you have to also be careful about the ethical use of these tools. It's not like that you can just sit in the public places and perform these kind of scan activity. It is illegal. So also be careful about the ethical use of these tools. So if you will use it for any other purpose, then if agencies finds you, then yeah, they can do anything. Like they can you will be like charged with some illegal use of these tools, and maybe you will be arrested. So be careful when using these tools in public places. Do not use it, just use it in your lab or in your home or virtual setup. So this is another tool, but I would say if you are using doing some project, just use Nmap or ZenMap, and then use this HPing 3. This is Angry IP Scanner, which is also another tool that you can use. So here you can see that I have provided the range from 192.168.1.0 to 192.168.1.255. And then I can just select the star, and then it will scan all the different hosts. And then it has found which hosts are active and which hosts are down. So that is also another tool to perform IPs like scan. So when we like from security purpose, we need to configure our firewall and intrusion detection systems properly to mitigate all these different kind of cyber attacks. Because of course, pen testers use these tools from the perspective of just testing the system or infrastructure, whether they are working properly or not. But attackers also use these tools from their own objective of scanning the infrastructure and finding all the entry point. So we need to block those kind of actions from the attackers. So, for instance, let's say somebody is performing a scan activity in my infrastructure. First thing, as a security administrator or security engineer, your role should be to check that from where it is originating. If it is originating from the inside of your infrastructure, then which IP address, and maybe one of your security team member, he or she is performing that just to test the infrastructure. And if you know that, then that is fine. But if it is coming from, let's say, some outside traffic, outside machine, then you should be careful. Maybe some attacker is just scanning your infrastructure and trying to collect the information about the different ports, services, IP address range, and operating systems, which is active or running on your host machines. So it is important to block these kind of activities. So you need to configure your firewall properly to block these kind of attacks, and also use your intrusion detection systems. You can use custom intrusion detection systems provided by some security vendors, or open source intrusion detection systems like Suricata, Snort, to detect these kind of activities and alert security administrators. So also use have access control list in your routers to block these kind of activities. So for instance, if somebody is performing ICMP ping echo request, and if the person is, or the host machine is sending 10 more than 10 ICMP echo requests, just block that or terminate the connections. So these kind of things that you can do to mitigate these kind of threats. So here you can see that I have used ZenMap to detect the operating systems. So OS discovery is also very important from the pen testing point of view, and also from attacker's perspective. So what you can do, just have -O option like in the command, and then your target IP address. And then you can perform the scan, and you will get all the information, like what are the different ports, different protocols, and so all these ports like 135, 139, 445, these are well-known ports, and these are used by TCP, and also 902912, and also what type of services that are running. So for instance, what you can also do, let's say you are having difficulty in interpreting these results. So what you can do, you can use these scan activities. Of course, you have collected the logs and everything, but what you can do once you get these response, and if you do not, you are not able to interpret properly these results, just copy these results and paste it on like the GPT application that you have developed, or there are also some GPT custom GPT applications which have been developed, like Pentest GPT. You can Google it and you can paste these results and it will interpret these results and provide you the insight. So that is also one of the way. If you are having difficulty in interpreting these results and you want, let's say you want more detail, so you can just uh, copy these results and up- upload on some GPT applications, custom GPT applications like Pentest GPT, which is widely, which have been developed for doing the pen testing. So you can just paste it there and it will interpret all these response and give you the insights. So that is also one of the way to like know more about these results and see what you can do. And while performing all these scans, just collect all the logs when so that it can be helpful for your project to further develop some large language models for analyzing for secure attack detection and mitigation. So many a times we have the intrusion detection systems and firewalls which are there. So it is also important to see whether you can bypass those firewalls or intrusion detection systems or not. So one of the way is also like to fragment your packets, probe packets that you are sending to the target, and then wait. So because when you are sending the fragmented packet, what happens? The target just waits to collect all the different fragments, and then once it has received, then it will assemble and forward it to there. So if you have these firewalls, you can use this technique to bypass the firewalls. So and then again, you can also try to spoof the IP address if they have whitelisted some. I mean, they have blacklisted some IP addresses, so that is also possible. Source port also you can manipulate to bypass the firewall. So and that is also possible in the Nmap scan. So you can manipulate the source port and then send the traffic, and maybe firewall will just allow traffic coming from that particular source port. IP address spoofing, as I mentioned, that is also one way to bypass the firewall and intrusion detection systems. But the main the widely used techniques are packet fragmentation. You can send fragmented probe packets to the target machine, and then once it will receive all the fragments, then I mean it generally waits to reassemble all the fragments. So that is the one way to bypass the firewall. IP address spoofing, source port manipulation. So all these are and also having some custom packets which you have or we also call malformed packets that you can also use to bypass the firewalls. So here you see that this is a packet fragmentation technique to that you can use in Nmap. So since even like you have the firewall which is not configured well, you can just experiment with that. So this is the command actually to bypass I mean to fragment the packets and then sending these packets to the target machines. And you can see here it has found these ports which are open and what kind of services running, what type of whether these ports are opened or closed. So you can see all these ports are open, and the version it has found what type of Microsoft version it is there. So it is remote procedure call, and all the response are not shown here, but you will find that in this figure not everything's are shown. So all these different types of scan you can perform, and you will have a very rich data sets that you can use for developing your LLM applications. So, for instance, if you do not know the command to perform the like packet fragmentation, what you can generally do, even you can Google it, and also you can type nmap-help, and it will give you all the different options. And even if you are not getting how I can use that, just use Google, and there are a lot of resources about the different types of command that you can use with nmap. So this is in the results in continuation with the previous one. You can see that it has also found MAC IP address OS detail that it has found, and this is it has found the iOS, and then all these responses are there. So you can also just upload these results on your custom GPT, and it will give you all the details. So source port manipulation, what it is actually, many firewalls, they block the traffic which is coming from some random source port. So you can manipulate. For instance, you can see here the attacker, the actual port that he is using is 242, but you can manipulate this port to port 80, and then firewall will just allow it. And if firewall will just see that, yeah, traffic is coming from source port 242, which is a random source port, it will just block that. So you can try this source port manipulation to bypass the firewall. So that is also possible. And this is the command you can use in ZenMap. Just have -G option, and provide the source port information like port 80, and then the target IP address, and then it will perform the scan. So this is the way to like bypass the firewall if the firewall is blocking traffic which is coming on random source port. So most of the firewall security administrators, they generally configure it to block any traffic which is coming from some random source port. But if it is coming from some well-known source port, it will allow that. So that is the source port manipulation that you can perform using ZenMap. So let me know if you have any questions. In the second session, we will go through the hands-on, and also how we can perform vulnerability scan. Let me check the questions. So to check with all the IP addresses, just type star, and you can perform that scan. So I will share the information on how to install ZenMap. So here also, let me give this article.
Hello?
Yeah.
Sir, sir, can we stop here or?
No, just give me a second.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I am not listening.
I'm just looking. I will show that in the second session how you can use install ZenMap. It is very easy. And yeah, command you will have to add. I mean, the IP address you can keep it the same, but yeah, command you will have to change for different types of scan that you want to perform. So yeah, as we discussed, and Sumit has also mentioned that, yeah, what we can do, you can use these different types of attacks to like what you can do, you can design a topology, like let's say 3-4 machines, 3-4 hosts, and then you can use like one machine to launch some legitimate traffic, like just running some video streaming, and then you can use Kali machine to launch the attack, different types of attack, so that you will have a mix of traffic, different types of attacks, and also some legitimate traffic, genuine traffic that you will have at the host machine. So then you will have a very rich data set at your that will have the mix of legitimate traffic, some malicious traffic, and some traffic which can be like suspicious, which you don't know exactly. So that is definitely that you can start at the beginner level. And then, of course, you can develop some GPT applications or large language models. You can train those GPT applications to analyze these logs efficiently. Yeah, I will share the PPT.
So I already explained them to how to start the project. Okay,
Yeah.
and some of them share the overlay file, and I share the link just now to all of
Okay.
you. I already shared earlier also, but you can check other students, you can check your rank, that what kind of assignment you have sent me. Okay, I divided into rank, and accordingly, those who did not share yet, try to write something on cybersecurity. Okay, and send the overlay file so that I can track your progress. It's important. And Rishikesh also pointing out that after generating this data, you have to do some LLM or machine learning kind of work. Okay. And we also discussed the data set, and I gave the link, work on that. And after these kind of tools, you have to generate the data and you have to compare. Okay. But write down your skill that you are going to learn or you are learning, so that we can track you. I already shared the overlay link, and here I mentioned, and I will continuously update it. What kind of a student is sending is sharing the overlay file with me, and what kind of work they are doing according to rank. Okay, you can change rank after updating your file. So don't worry, if anyone has rank 1, it's not matter that it's always rank 1. You may cross it. You could try to do that. I already mentioned in my class. Okay, thank you, Ricky. Continue.
Yeah. So to get the IP address in the Windows machine, you just have to type ipconfig. I will show that in the second session. So we will cover those things. Perform packet yeah, Nmap you can use to perform the packet fragmentation. That is possible. Yeah, you have to scope the vulnerability scan that you want to perform. Because if it is a medium-sized organization or large organization, we cannot perform vulnerability scan on all the assets that they have. We have to scope down on what systems that we want to perform this vulnerability scan, so that we'll narrow down the scope, and then first mitigate the risk on those systems, and then plan gradually, like going to different assets. So not many organizations, they go like that. They will not just ask pen testers to perform vulnerability scan on entire infrastructure. We have to narrow down the scope so that our objective is very clear, what we want to achieve, and then perform the scan, identify all the risk, and then mitigate those risks first, and then move gradually. And yeah, I will share this one. Yeah, Nmap, that is a command line, and Zenmap is a graphical version of Nmap. But what you can do, type nmap-help. I will show that, and it will give you a lot of different options that you can use and experiment with that. And there are a lot of resources on Google also for the different types of commands to generate different kind of attack using Nmap. So I will share some links later on. So if you do not have any questions, then yeah, we can stop here. And in the second session, we can do the hands-on activity.
past that they did not receive the links, overlap links and collab links. I already shared. If you open my shared file in the WhatsApp group, then you can find every link there, every instruction there. Okay, try to do something and send me, share with me. Okay, thank you all. You can find my shared link there in the group. Thank you all. Okay, we'll
you.
meet at 12. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
we don't have the attendance.
Thank you, sir. Again, we will
Thank
meet.
you. Thank you, sir.
Sir, attendance link.
In the second app, I will give both. Okay,
Okay, sir.
both I will give in second.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.